Hi everyone, welcome to the ultimate guide to surviving the holidays when you can't stand your spouse. For those who don't know me, my name is Alex. I'm Alexandra Geczi. I'm an attorney, mediator, and owner of the law firm Alexandra Geczi Family Law in Dallas, Texas. So our firm is a little bit different than other firms because we are dedicated to helping women who are struggling in unhappy marriages find the confidence that they need to regain control over their lives. And we do that through helping them through the divorce process and into life beyond so that they lead more successful, happier lives after the divorce. So we are really client focused, and we like doing sort of a holistic team approach to our divorces that works really well and resonates really well with women. And so in brainstorming some ideas of how we can better help our clients, we came up with this Facebook Live mini-series event. It's basically, we were talking about how the holidays can be really challenging for a lot of us, especially moms and women juggling a lot of careers, family, different things, but in particular, women who are in marriages that may be toxic relationships. And so helping them through offering tips and insight through the holidays was a kind of a great idea, but we wanted to do more than just offer a checklist and a blog. We actually wanted to do something that expanded on that. And so what we've done is we've created like the 6 tips to kind of get you through the holidays. And then each tip is going to be addressed in each week. So our plan is to do for the next 6 weeks, starting today, Tuesdays at 2. We will be taking it an inch deep and a mile wide and addressing each of these tips in turn. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, we invite you to watch the whole series. You can also check out our checklist on our Facebook page. I think it's on our blog as well as our Instagram. And so you can download it and sort of a TV guide, Facebook Live guide of what the upcoming topics are going to be. So let's get started with today's topic. So today's topic is create your happiness plan. What does that mean? Well, it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek way of talking about pre-planning your divorce. We are actually real big on pre-planning. We think that working with your divorce team to plan out the divorce before you even file it is a great way to have a more successful divorce and not be stuck at the end of the divorce sort of in limbo wondering, what to do next. If you start from the beginning when you're just thinking about divorce, exploring your options, you can have a whole different experience through the divorce process. So we're big believers on that. And I think it's common knowledge, success comes from planning. So again, another great reason to start planning. But it can be a little bit daunting. How do you create a successful plan? What do you put in a plan? What do you put in a divorce plan? So we wanted to offer some tips and insights on that today. So I think the first thing that you need to start with when you're building your plan is create a goal. Start with a goal, right? We all have goals, but it needs to be something more than I want to have a divorce and I just want to be happy. Those are very vague and they can be hard to achieve because it is kind of subjective. So you want to start with something that's more concrete and more specific that will get you to that ultimate kind of overarching goal. And you're going to break down your plan into a series of steps and things too. So I think probably if you're thinking about a divorce, one of the first things you got to do is you want to hire an attorney to represent you in the divorce because there's a lot of pros and cons, but a lot of cons that you have to be careful when you represent yourself in a divorce. So you want a good lawyer on your side. So you set a goal of, I want to hire a kick-ass lawyer to represent me in my divorce. That's a great goal, so let's use that as an example. And so setting that as a goal, what do you do next? What's your first step? Well, first, you're going to go to www.familylawdfw.com. Just kidding. You're going to go, we're going to keep it more generic than that, but I do know some good kick-ass lawyers at that website. But I think first and foremost, when you're finding the right lawyer to be a good fit for you, you need someone who you can trust. This is a person who's going to have you be with them through this whole roller coaster of a ride that you've got. And you want to be able to trust them. You're going to be divulging a lot of intimate details about your life. You're going to be vulnerable and exposed. And so you want someone that you know is going to be on your side. And you define what having a trustworthy attorney is. Some ideas, some thoughts that I've got are, you want someone who's got experience. So for example, over a decade of family law experience would be a great thing to have. You want someone who is going to be, maybe have a niche like helping women. So a law firm that has women, helping women would be another great factor to look at. You want maybe a good personality fit. So you want someone who's going to be an advocate for you, but also give you the straight talk and be honest with you about what your rights are, so that you can be educated and become empowered about everything. And finding the right attorney is important, because this is the person who, if you find the right attorney, they're going to help you create that really great divorce plan and marriage exit strategy. Okay, so that's step one, kind of. The next thing you want to do is set your expectations about the divorce. I cannot tell you how many clients come to us with outrageous expectations, and it's not their fault. There's a lot of myths and a lot of misunderstandings out there on the internet. So I want to talk to you guys about expectations, setting those expectations, and then dialing them into reality. First, you have to understand that in Texas, the divorce process can be slow. There's even a 60-day cooling off period, so you can't just walk into an attorney's office and say, hey, we have an agreement, I want to be divorced tomorrow. At a minimum, you're going to have to wait 60 days for that cooling off period to elapse before you can even get the divorce done and finalized. And that there are a few exceptions, but that's generally how it's going to be. Now, if you are doing a divorce the right way, which in our opinion is the right way, and you want to plan it out, then add to that 60 days too. And just even if you do it that way and you have everything goes right, just again, keep in mind that, again, the legal process is a very slow-moving beast. And when I say slow-moving beast, it is the opposite of a cheetah, right? It is like a sloth that is covered in mold or whatever it is that they're covered in, climbing up that tree with tar on its feet, and its feet are cut off. Like, that's how slow the legal process can be sometimes. So understand that your attorneys are working diligently for you, but it can take time sometimes when you're coordinating with everything else. And so even though that may not be a great time right now to file something, because you're not going to be divorced by the end of the year in most situations now, it's November 7th. However, this is a perfect time to start planning and strategizing your divorce. So I encourage all of you to reach out to your divorce team and start planning and strategizing your divorce so that you can start 2018 with a fresh start and a new you. Now, what do you want to include in your pre-divorce plan? What are some things that you want to talk about with your divorce team and trying to strategize this? Well, I can tell you a lot of things that we include in our pre-divorce plans. So one thing is dispelling myths. So for women especially, a lot of them out there are hearing threats from their husbands. They're talking to their girlfriends and hearing things on the internet that are just not true. And so it creates a lot of unnecessary fear and anxiety. So talk to your attorney about this time about, is this true? Can he really do that? Am I really going to be financially destitute? Is he going to take my children away? All these things that you're hearing, talk to someone about that. This is the perfect time to do that. And it makes you feel much more confident about the process and about, is this the right decision for you? You can also talk to a divorce coach about how do you break the news to your friends and family. So that's another one that we get a lot of concerns about, where it's scary. This is a lot of times our clients have not told their friends and family that there's anything wrong in the marriage. They feel kind of ashamed. And so talking to your divorce team about, how do I break it to my parents that, my marriage has been a sham? How do I talk to my friends and make sure that they're still going to support me and stand behind me? Those are really great questions to ask and to talk to your team about. Another one is, how do we tell the kids? That's a huge one, right? You want to make sure that you're not going to say it in a way that's going to traumatize your kids. You want to make sure that your kids are going to be happy and healthy adults when they grow up, and so you want to minimize the conflict of the divorce and telling them and what they're going to go through, and you want to be there to support them when they have those questions. What questions are they going to ask, and how do you answer those in a way that's a healthy, an appropriate way to answer those? You can talk to a financial expert about your credit. So this is another big one. This is one of the top 3 reasons I think that people get divorced is financial stress. So a lot of couples come to us with debt issues and maybe how to address the credit repair building, things like that. You talk to your divorce team about that now. A lot of times it can be easier to implement a lot of strategies to help with your finances before you file for the divorce than once the divorce gets started, or even after the divorce. So talking to your team about that. Another one is if you've been a stay-at-home mom for a long time, then you may not have credit, or your credit is kind of down in the dumps. So you want to talk to your divorce team about building up your credit, ways to do that, to maximize that. You want to talk to them about ways to maybe get back on your feet, to build your resume. Talk to a career counselor about building your resume out and starting to think about a career and what are your options going to be. You can explore creative visitation schedules. Maybe you've thought, oh, well, if we're divorced, then the visitation, what is that going to look like? So you can learn about the standard visitation, then you can also learn about all the other creative ways that may be a good fit for you and your family and explore those with your divorce team. For those who are in the middle of a divorce right now, now is a perfect time to talk to your divorce team about holidays that are coming up in the holiday visitation schedule. So if you are concerned that you may have enforcement issues with any sort of court orders you've got in place right now about trying to get your kids for the holidays, or if you don't even have a court order, now is the time to go get that court order, because a lot of times people are going to be on vacation, the courts may be closed, so you want to make sure that you're going to address those holiday issues now rather than later, so that you are, again, minimizing the stress during this holiday season. And really, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do to just start getting your mindset in the right place for a divorce. And the more you know, the more empowered you're going to be. And so I think that will help minimize some of the stress and get you ready for a good divorce. So I think that's about all I've got. If you want to do more than just survive the holidays, but actually maybe feel a little bit giddy about them, a little bit happy, a little bit excited about the new potential that you've discovered, the new you that you can start next year, then focus on that. Get with the right team to do that. Put a plan in place and start taking action now. Now is a great time. And, I encourage you, don't spend another holiday season hating your spouse. Try to focus on a new life for you and what you can do now to create that new life. It is possible that in less than a year, you can have a totally different life that you've created and you've molded for yourself and for your children and for your family to be much happier. So we encourage you to reach out and get yourself empowered, and then tune in next Tuesdays at 2 for our next topic in this Facebook Live mini-series, and I hope that you found today useful and valuable. All right, bye.